This is Believe in Buckeyes. I'm Bryant with All-American quarterback Chekwa. This show is brought to you guys by FanDuel. Chum, spring is finally here. I can smell the grass growing. I don't see no color in the flowers yet, but it's coming, man. But Chum, how you doing, man? So you got the fresh white on. What's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm ready for this spring practice to get going. Maybe get an opportunity to get out there, see the guys, move around, compete a little bit, and see, who is flashing in terms of some of the young guys trying to earn spots. I like spring competition, man. It kind of sets everything up for the fall competition. So I look forward to seeing those guys get at it.
Yeah, that's for sure. We got spring practice kicking off on March 10th. Our guys kind of get out there with the helmets on, start running around and moving, like you say. And like you said, it should be a lot of competition. Obviously, the best spring is when you got competition at the quarterback position. We probably won't have that this year, but obviously we'll have some quarterbacks that need to improve. And we got a lot of guys that will be filling in a lot of new spots, so it'll be interesting to see how things shake out. But first, Chum, we got to get into even more important topics than our Ohio State Buckeyes. We got our guys, Urban Meyer, Nick Saban, the top conference commissioners, the NCAA, going out to Washington, D.C. to meet with President Trump in a roundtable. And you know what the ultimate goal is there, Chum? To fix college football. But Chum, man, I mean, that's an interesting discussion. Obviously, we're expecting the executive order to come down to kind of make some changes to the way certain things are going. I guess I just got to say, hey, what's your thoughts? Is this the right bunch to get together and get some things corrected here?
Is it the right bunch? I don't know if it's the right bunch, man. I think these are some guys who are friendly with each other and have a lot of influence, right? And they're all concerned about something that I guess, a lot of people these days are concerned about. I think it's important to recognize the level of attention and focus that college football gets. And everybody has their reason for it. Some people are looking to fix college football because they're passionate about it, because they love it. Others, are looking for the opportunity to, get their team to be successful, right?
Yeah, that competitive advantage, right, through the law, yeah.
Yeah, so no matter what you're in it for, just know there's a lot of people in it. That's one thing, that's for sure. And when there's a lot of people in it, that means it's big business, right? And whenever it's big business, we got to treat it as such. So, it is important that they improve the structure, right? I don't know if this is the best approach to doing that, but it is an approach, and we'll see, what comes out of it. A lot of influential people. The Texas Tech billionaire was present, right? And I don't know how he feels about this, right? Because a lot of the talk was about bringing it back to what it was. And Texas Tech, they look like they have a pretty bright current and future right now with that guy's money and influence. So we'll see what comes out of it. It seemed like, Trump was adamant that they're going to get an executive order done and launched, and who knows how far that actually goes. So that's going to be important to see.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it's interesting though, because I think we all, as college football fans, we all got some gripes about some things, right? And we know what the biggest gripe is. It's almost like it's a new team every year, right? And obviously Ohio State, we really haven't been on that wave, but to this season, right? And we kind of basically lose a bunch of guys, and Coach Dave put an emphasis on that, we're going to be spending this money on guys. We're going to be spending this money on guys, on basically known entities, guys we know who went out there on Saturdays and have done it. And no one likes that, right? We like to see a high school kid from their hometown grow up and go to their big school in their state, or, wherever that school may be, play it out, be there, develop, become a star, then you go on and play on Sundays. And obviously things have changed, and things always change. That's just life. But, I just felt like with the football thing, it's kind of happened maybe a little bit too fast. But obviously the two biggest conversations around, what can we change is what, Chum? NIL and transfer portal. Obviously, we don't know exactly what they're going to do, but what's your thoughts on what are they thinking? Like, restrictions, timing. Yeah. How do you try to put your grasp on this situation if you're coming in from an executive order, so things are still fair, But at the same time, I think Trump has said this, this is most likely going to the courts. And this, the last lawyers, they're somewhere with the Birdman hearing rail ready to go and do their thing on this. Obviously, because they get, if they win and make a lot of money on it, on stuff like this, because they put a dollar tag on things as well. So it has to make sense, because if not, you have no shot in the courts. So I guess, what's your thoughts on that? And
I think there's
can they win? Can they win?
Right? Yeah. So there's 3 parties. One I won't count because they shouldn't be well represented at this type of roundtable. But there's 2 parties for sure: the student athlete and their representation, right, and Congress, who can pass the laws, right. The student athlete will sue to make sure that their interests are elevated, right? They're gonna do what's best for them, and Congress is also the one who passed the law. So those groups weren't really well represented. And then the last group is the judge, right? The judges who are gonna enforce the law and be able to make these decisions in the courts. And because of that, because there's no indication of those individuals changing their approach, I don't see this thing getting very far. I do think the energy behind fixing college football and the attention of government at a national level is going to get the NCAA and others to feel like they have more support in terms of fighting back against what's happening. But I want this to be clear. There's no putting that toothpaste back in the tube. All right. Players are getting paid and it's not going back. Right. So the comments about, I want it back to the old college. If you continue to fight for what used to be, you'll lose out on really preparing for the future. So that's not going to happen. It is going to be interesting how they move forward, because it's not necessarily the NIL that's the issue or the thing that's really changing it. It's not the fact that a player can earn money on their name, image, and likeness. The issue is that those who are in charge of recruiting the players and, paying the players are doing whatever they can to win. And there's no rules around that, right? So you take a player who can make money off his name, image, and likeness, and, the loopholes are now utilized to maximize your ability, or just to level the playing field. Because if one school is doing it, then I have to do it just to compete, right? And then the transfer portal makes everything a 1-year deal, and that makes it challenging as well. It's a combination of those 2 things. The adults who are in charge taking advantage of what is NIL, one, not the student athletes, but the adult. Everybody talks about the student athlete who asks for money to come to a visit. And no, the issue is the people paying them. I got a 5-year-old, and he can wake up in the morning and say, "Daddy, I want Skittles for breakfast." And if I gave him Skittles, guess what? He's gonna expect more Skittles.
More Skittles.
So at the end of the day, it's the adults in the room that are truly the issue. And it's the transfer portal structure, which is really hard to navigate. We're going to talk more about that, but it's really hard to solve for the transfer portal, just because there's so many ways to get around the current structure of it. Even if you put one transfer portal window in, a player could just leave one school and enroll in a new school, and then scholarship can be taken care of through NIL and all that stuff. So
yeah. No, but because it's just interesting time, and like you say, it's almost funny that the players get the most heat and all this stuff, right? It's like, oh, these kids don't want to compete. They jump into that transfer portal left and right. They just play for the biggest bag. All right, whoever giving the biggest bag, that's where they go. But then you go to the state of Mississippi, and the state of Mississippi said, like, you know what? We need to cut state taxes. In the state of Arkansas, you know what? Just for NIL, we need to figure out ways to be more competitive. Let's not tax the players on their NIL money. I seen the tweet, someone said, like, you could be a fireman saving lives. You can pay tax. Backup corner at Ole Miss, no taxes on It's just, but like you say, it's the adults. It comes back to the adults. People if you're handing out stuff, people gonna take as much as they can, and that's just human nature. So, but when the adults come to the table and say like, "Hey, no, we're no longer doing these things," or if you want to get an NIL, fine, go out there, talk to Nike, and they offer you something great. But we're no longer just putting this money on the table, and we'll find some businesses to act like you're doing promotions for them. You wipe that stuff away, and you get to, and you just let things kind of be how they may. You get a budget, right? They have a budget now, right? And that's the thing. They have a budget, and then with that budget, the NCAA has some rules, right? Like we're going to take a look at these deals and make sure that we feel like they're fair market value. I think the lawyer sent them a letter, and that just went right out the window, right? And you kind of keep seeing that the NCAA is not really fighting for things because they feel like it's going to go to court and then they'll lose. So now we trying to see that at the executive level we can make a change to that. Speaking of NCAA.
Real quick, that was Urban Meyer's point that he was trying to make. He was like, get rid of the collectives. And I think his point was, if you let the schools just pay the athletes or you let NIL just happen, then that's where it stops. But once you add the collective aspect, there's no way to regulate it. And I'm interested to see if they can actually get that under control. I don't think they can, but we'll see how it goes.
This is interesting. Like you said, see how it goes. But when it comes down to it, I think we say this before. We had our guy on the show who actually is going forward with his creation of essentially a union for the college player. Until there's two sides on the table and you come to an agreement, a collective bargaining agreement, like you see in all professional sports, then you're going to kind of keep having issues. And now, like you said, they go to the court. Let's see, flip a coin, know if they win or not, see how things go from there. But if they let that union grow, maybe they need to take some time and put some resources towards the union. Hey, get this created so we can have someone to actually talk to, and we can kind of have a document that we live off of here. I don't know. I haven't heard any talks on them doing that, but I think that would help out a lot in that matter. But, man, let's talk about the NCAA a little bit because obviously – recent times, they've been taking a lot of L's, right? We talk about the transfer portal. We talk about them trying to enforce rules, kind of going through the process of even penalizing teams that they know have done things wrong through an investigation. They have a tough time sometimes even coming up with sanctions for them, And you know what I'm talking about. Let's go to the state of Mississippi. Back to Mississippi. They have no state taxes for their NIL income. And they also got a quarterback, a guy in Trinidad Childress who played pretty well, transferred in, led the team to the playoffs. They won a playoff game before going down to Miami. He decided, hey, I want to do this college thing one more time. I think this is going on year 5 or 6 for him. You want to do it again. And took it to the court. So we took it to the NCAA first. Let's set this up right. Took it to the NCAA and lost. They said, no, you had your time to go on. They filed at the state, federal level in the state of Mississippi. I think the judge was an Ole Miss alum, and they win the ruling. He gets to play college football for one more year, depending on that ruling. But the NCAA is fighting back. They're appealing, and it's kind of put out kind of a little twofold on this. Like, hey, if we end up winning this, we're going to have some penalties for you guys. Like, if you decided to let the guy play, we said no, we went in court, we're going to penalize the school. And that's kind of the conversation back to the Indiana player because they had that similar situation. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Are they going to get some teeth?
It's funny, though, because Trinidad Childress, he actually finished the season pretty good. He had a great run in the playoffs. It was really impressive. In a very down quarterback class overall. It seemed like he, in the past, after a run like that, it seemed like, you set yourself up to go into the draft and maximize your draft stock. He is committed to coming back and playing college football, obviously, because there's a lot of money. No state tax now on that money either. But he is almost just ignoring the NCAA, right? They ruled against it. They take it to court. It gets ruled in his favor. They come back with an appeal, and it just feels like we're just going to continue to press forward because who cares what y'all do at the NCAA? So I'm actually proud of the NCAA in their attempt to fight back here. I don't think much of it. I don't think that they win, and if they do win, if it turns out that the season is concluded and then they win, I don't see them going back and really doing anything to the player or the team They may do something to the team moving forward in terms of a fine, but I don't see them actually impacting or messing up the product on the field, right? I don't feel like they're going to interrupt the actual team wins or anything on the football field. I think if the SEC came out and said, "Hey, you got to go, or we're gonna, do something," then I'll take it serious. But the NCAA, when it comes to college football, even college basketball, I don't really see them actually having that much of an impact. But they're trying.
Man, yeah, they tried, and like you say, it's kudos to them because you kind of want them to try, right? We don't want
Yeah.
this to be the wild wild west of college sports. Nothing goes, no contract matters. You come in, you leave, because the schools are benefiting off this as well, right? They're giving guys some money. They kind of, I don't think they're figuring out ways to kind of cut those funds because they're not upholding their end of the contract no longer and turning that player away. And obviously the players are doing the same. I play well, I get in the transfer portal to play to get more money. I was a big recruit. They didn't play me. I get in the transfer portal so I could go to a different school, a different situation where maybe I could get more playing time. And yeah, so you want something to kind of come for this. And because the top of it, now you got guys, I played 4 years, but my true freshman year, I only played special teams. That year shouldn't count. I need another year. Oh, I played 5 years, but 1 year I hurt my wrist and I missed film for a week, so I think I should get another. I should get another year at college football, and it's funny enough. Like, yes, I guess if it's your team, you kind of have a little leeway for it, but you want to see guys go on. You don't want to see guys just sitting around, hawking around, jumping in the portal left and right, because you're killing the product for the young guys, the 17, 18-year guys who work their tail off in high school. They're losing opportunities because of this. So I don't know. You want something to hit on something.
His situation isn't really that egregious, honestly. If he ends up playing, it wouldn't be that crazy. I mean, there's a linebacker at Miami, I think, who's going into year 8. So, like, I don't know if this is the guy they really should be sticking on for real, honestly. But hey, they got to fight their battles where they can. I had a question before, because I was trying to identify NCAA is fighting back. I was curious as to, how much money do they actually make from college football, because it seems like they don't really have much power when it comes to college football or much energy to, actually regulate anything. But you realize most of their money actually comes from the NCAA men's basketball tournament, right? Like they don't get a ton of income from college football playoffs. All that stuff goes to the conferences. And we're in a weird space right now where it feels like the conferences have all the power, but the conferences really protect their own, right? So, when Michigan does something or Ole Miss, whoever does something, it almost feels like the conference, if that team was actually good that year and they performed and they went to the playoffs and they made some money for the conference doesn't actually want to go back and penalize. Their conference is like, hey, they did well for us, so, don't do it again, but for now, let's kind of, sweep it under the rug. So it's just going to be interesting moving forward how much the conference really steps into the fold of being the leader of the future of college football and creating the correct structure in doing it, because every team has an incentive to win, and every conference has an incentive to make more money for the conference. And that incentive needs to be balanced with some just common sense types rules and structure. And so far, they haven't gotten to that point.
Yeah, no, that's interesting because the last thing that the NCAA was fighting on, because obviously we got spring ball, right? And we know last season spring ball hit, and we had teams literally canceling spring games. Like, we don't want other people seeing our product that we have on the field because guys are poaching. Man, maybe this guy's a 2, and we need a safety. Give him a call right now. Get in the portal. We need you. And so they short thing. They say, hey, we want to have one transfer portal where we can argue about when it take place. Hopefully, the executive order kind of helps out and fix that. But we know that college football, the spring is hitting, and the guys are going to be unhappy, right? Certain guys thought that there was going to be that number 1 role. Maybe they lose out. Maybe they thought they was going to get this time, and the coach doesn't see that way. There's going to be some guys finish spring ball and say, hey, I'm no longer affiliated with this program someone pick me up. And the NCAA is threatening, like, hey, don't touch these guys. This is going to happen. But if you touch these guys, and they're not even acting like they're going to do something to the player, because, you're a player. You can leave and go wherever you want to go. But they said they can come right after schools and potentially throwing out things that maybe suspending coaches up to 6 games, looking at fines for the football budget, shortening scholarships that you could have on the team for the following season. Can that hold up, Tim? Can they get that to hold up? Do you think the conferences was, once again, you say protect their own programs and say,
yeah,
we might back this one here if it keeps our teams in line as guys are getting ready, finishing the spring and getting ready for fall camp?
Yeah, it depends on what schools it is. Like, I think if there was a team like Michigan or Alabama or a Texas in a situation where a guy unenrolled in one school and went there and they ended up playing and the NCAA was trying to come at them with sanctions, I don't think they can really fight that fight. I don't think the NCAA has enough power to be able to fight and win against one of the major schools. And if they can't do it versus the major schools and a president is set that this is what it is, then everybody else can do the same thing, right? And that's the issue. The will to win on the football side from some of these schools and these teams is too much for the NCAA to really overcome. And they've been batting very low, man. Their batting average is not very impressive when it comes to winning in court. So it's going to be tough, man. I think with the policy, the executive order, and some of that coming out, they feel like they have some more support in being able to push things forward. But look, it's just gonna be hard, man. These judges are college football fans too, and you end up in a Mississippi court with a guy with an Ole Miss jersey on underneath. It's it's gonna be hard to win, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I see it through the NCAA. I'll say they're paying attention to that. So they're trying to make some claims, like in the Trinidad Chambers case, like, hey, the jurisdiction is not fair. We might need to, get this somewhere with just a little bit more neutral. Things like that. They're thinking about it, but we got to see how it plays down the road. So, before we wrap up, we got big news coming from OSU. The biggest news around OSU is that we're getting a new president, man. Our president, Ted Carter. I'm gonna say basically he wasn't the president very long, but he's stepping down due to some a situation. Now, we're not gonna speak on it because that has been confirmed, but due to a situation, Tim, man, we got a former coach who has some experience of running schools. He has some experience in working out and running the state. What's your list, man? I ain't even gonna say his name because I think we know where I'm going with that. But Tim, what's your list, man? Who's on your list for the next president of the Ohio State University? What you got?
Yeah, so obviously Tressel tops the list, man. Coach Tressel, who is going to be finishing up his, term as lieutenant governor. Right? It's not running for governor. Has, as you mentioned, has some experience at being a president at multiple universities, and is beloved here in Columbus, Ohio. And you go back and you think about, what led to him having to step down as head coach, and then you look at the current environment when it comes to NIL and stuff. We almost owe him one. Like, we almost owe him reparations for how things went down back then. And then, there's some former players, man, that may not have any experience, but they can maybe can't be put in that position right now, but we can start getting them a internship and grooming them to be the next president. I throw a JT Barrett type guy's hat in the ring for future Ohio State president. He'd be a good figurehead for the state of Ohio and for the Buckeyes. I got a few other guys, but I'm gonna keep thinking.
I got a good one. Yeah, I'm gonna throw one out there. Malcolm Jenkins. That guy. That guy would get the university going for sure, man. You talking about some guy with some experience of running things and tenacity. That's the guy for it, man.
Hey, where Anthony Gonzalez at, man? Big catch in the Michigan game. Former state representative. He'd be a good guy to lead this effort. Look, Ohio State has gone through some presidents, okay? We need to stabilize this thing. Like we can't just go out there and just pick any top guy who has a resume. We have to think this through a little bit more. You know, some guys with some deeper ties to Ohio State who, you know, we feel have the integrity and hold the university and what it means to be president in very high esteem, man. So yeah, if they need a consultant on that search, I am open to be a part of figuring out who the next guy
Buckeyes,
is.
man. We get you guys together, man. Oh yeah, man. But hey, man, shout out to the basketball team, women and men. We're coming up to tournament time. Our women made a great run in the Big Ten tournament, making all the way to the semifinals before they face, I think the number one team in the nation in UCLA. They got, you know, they're like a mob squad, but shout out to them. And our men's team, very surprising. I don't know what the FanDuel odds was on Ohio State men's team making the tournament before the season. But heck, at the end, we got hot. We beat Purdue. We beat some other good teams, and it looks like we maybe, obviously, you have to wait to Selection Sunday. You got to wait till the tournaments play out, and hopefully we're going to run there to help ourselves out. But we may have done it, man. We might have got ourselves back into the big dance when it comes to the tournament. So shout out to our basketball program. But that's it. We're going to wrap this up, man. This is our show. Please follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Send us questions. What you're excited for about spring ball? It's right here around the corner. If you have a TV, catch us on FanDuel Sports Network in your local area, especially around Ohio. We're there as well. Tune in to the show as we continue to bring you guys Ohio State news. And we got football, Chef. It's here. We made it. It's actual football and some real competition. We're going to end this show as always with a nice OH.
Ayo.
Go Bucks. Talk to you guys soon.
Go Bucks.